Welcome back to Beginner Guitar Lessons with your guitar relationship counselor. This is number 5 in the series, and it's an exciting day. The day has finally come that you are about to either run or embrace this instrument. This is always, not always, but it is sometimes the breaking point in the relationship where a man and his guitar or a woman and his guitar or her guitar must part ways. Hopefully that is not the case for you, and you will embrace this and move forward. There's nothing to be scared about, because today is bar chord day. Ooh. Sounds intimidating, sounds rough, but really it's not, because it wasn't all that long ago and you didn't know any chords whatsoever. So why the bar chord should scare you? It should not. But it does scare some people. But hopefully I can make it a little bit easier for you. I'm going to show you, I'll give you an intro into it first. I'll show you how I kind of graduated into it, because I knew bar chords before I knew any other chords. So I did not go through this phase of and look of shock when I saw a bar chord, because that was the first one that I seen. So it was really nothing to me, but I have seen it over and over and over again with my students and other people. So here we go. First, we're going to start with a power chord so we can kind of get a sense of how this is going to go. Call this a power chord. It's really the root, which is the first note, and the 5, which are usually a fret apart. Let's do it on the A. So we're going to have an A, and then your third finger on the D. So your first finger, just like in the graphic here, your first finger is going to go on the A. You're going to skip a fret, and then on the next string down, the A string, you're going to put your third finger, and you're just going to strum those 2 strings. You can take that chord, don't move your fingers, and move it up. Now it becomes G5. You can move this chord. And where that comes from, this shape, you may not recognize it like that, but the E, if you notice that your E also contains that 5 right there. And the E, in this case, it would be B. E, F, G, A, B. 5. Easy. We'll get into that later, though. Right there. So if you just hit the E, you're going to notice that a lot from heavy metal and rock music when you get into you can take this to the A string and the same, your 5. You notice that my fingers are not changing positions. I'm just changing them in respect to where they are on the guitar neck. They come in really handy, especially on an electric guitar. They have their uses on an acoustic guitar also. This is one of the first songs I learned, and I learned it in the power chord style. Easy as that. Now, why they call those power chords, I'm not really sure. Maybe it's because with the electric, they sound so powerful when you're, I don't know. But that's just what they call them. I don't know them like that necessarily, but I know what people are talking about when they call them that. I know them for what they are, which is just the root and the 5th is what that is. So, but yeah, that's the intro into bar chords, because now you're going to keep that same shape. Let's put the graphic back up. You're going to take that same shape, your first finger on the A, on the E string, your second or your third finger, your ring finger, on the E, like that. And you're going to add your pinky right here on the D string. And then you're going to add your second finger here on the C sharp. Gives you the bar chord. You can also move this anywhere. This you'll really recognize, because check this out, you know the E, and you see that your fingers, if you was to use, we learned the E like this, to use our second and third finger, E, B, and G sharp, with your finger on the G sharp. You could just as easily use your ring finger on the B. You can think of that chord just like this, and it's really no more difficult. When you get to F, all you're doing is putting your finger down. G, A, B. You see? Easy. They call them bar chords because essentially you're barring off everything with your first finger, like a clamp, like you're putting your capo there. And if you play the whole Cars song, another Cars song. You're barring all that off, right? This is where you have to not get your hand all tense, because if you play a song full of these, then your forearm's really going to get tight. So use your weight of your arm like this to help you in barring this off. Don't just squeeze the heck out of it, because you're really going to get tired, and you will know what I'm talking about when you're doing it the wrong way. Let gravity help you. If you take this chord, it's unlike the power chord, and we're going to go over to D. Instead of having this finger down, again, we're barring all this off here, and again, just like the power chord, except for I'm taking my pinky and I'm going to bar off these two here, or if your finger's strong enough, you can bar off these three. So essentially you're just barring this one off and then using your knuckle to hit the E, which is the A in this case. I'll usually use two fingers. Now, that is the major version. If you want the minor flavor, then it is the exact same shape as here when your root is on the 6th string, as opposed, so here it's major, but if your root is on the 5th string, the A string, and you using that same shape, just like the E, that is a minor, okay? Just like up here, your A, that is what the bar chord is like down here. You see that pattern? I told you you're going to start to see these patterns. So the E, if I do it like this, watch my fingers don't move. Only this one. I just laid this one down. That's as easy as that. Same with this one. See how that works? The guitar is all about these patterns like this. Now, what can you do with that? Well, as you saw, you can play just about any song with it. I don't recommend it because not all songs are played like that. And on an acoustic guitar, like I said, if you're doing it wrong and you're holding it wrong, not being aware of how tense you are and how you're pressing that down, not letting gravity work for you, your arm, then you're going to get very tired. But some songs, they require that, like they'll have this all the way through it. I don't mind you coming here and wasting all my time when you're standing oh so near. I kinda lose my mind, yeah. It's all the way through. So you will build up a little bit of strength in that arm, but if you feel it getting really, really tight, you know that you're not doing it right because your hand's going to start cramping up and all that. You don't want that happening mid-song. So just learn it right. Learn to let gravity help you. Try out these shapes. Of course, there are more bar chords and they get worse than that, but this is your basic entry into it. I think the one that always scares everybody is this B minor, which is, it's the same thing I'm showing you. Works in songs like so you have to be proficient in them if you want to keep moving up, right? You can be scared of them and then not do them, but you're going to stay right there at that level. And if your goal is, which everybody's goal should be, is to push on beyond, then just practice these bar chords. And it's going to take you a lot further because you're going to see there are many, many uses. You know, there's too many to really go into right now, and you're not going to really understand them all right now. But they're there. And from that come the more, the jazzier chords of that flavor and stuff like that, because we're just hitting the pretty sounding chords that you can hit, but they all require this barring technique. So now is a good time to start. Just buckle down and learn your bar chord. Until next time, keep practicing.